We are going to go by the numbers and see exactly what the Trump administration has made strides for when it comes to the notorious Project 2025. This is not going to be a bashing on Trump video or a bashing on the previous administration video. We're looking at veteran benefits specifically because a lot of people, this is a very big issue right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pull up the actual Project 2025. I'm going to put a check mark or an X on actions that this administration has done, either has completed or is making strides to. Of course, I'll give my thoughts compared to the VHA and VBA portions of Project 2025. So that way, every single person who watches this video, and hopefully you watch it all the way through, has a shared understanding. This is going to be a big one. Okay. Now, as always, this is a Sunday video, so stay till the end because I give a shout out to a veteran-owned company for absolutely $0. It's free 99. I'm trying to give back to the veteran community in that way, and I'm sure they would like your support. Anyways, here is Project 2025 in the flesh. Okay, I will leave a link down below so that way you can have this as well. If you scroll down, now I'm not going to look at this whole thing. I'm just going to be looking at the Department of Veteran Affairs, which is on page 641. So you click that, bada bing, bada boom, it takes you down to the Department of Veteran Affairs. Let me zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, now all of this is background information, and Project 2025 is actually very simple to read. It's organized really good, in my opinion. Okay, so all that's background information about being veteran-centric, the VA sucks, yada, yada, yada. So here you have VHA, and then you see these little bulleted points. 1, 2 there. They keep going down. All the bullets are things that Project 2025 aims to change. Okay, it's in bullet format. You can't confuse it with anything else. You go down, now there's different like VHA budget. We'll talk about that. And then my personal favorite, which is VBA, which is probably what everyone is here to see, Veteran Benefits Administration. Again, it's the same thing. There's these bulleted, hey, if I was king for a day, here's what I would do. Okay. And so I'm going to be using a green check mark or a red X to kind of go to look at, what this administration has been making strides for, and then everything involved with that. And I absolutely want your comments on this one. So we're going to start with the VBA. Okay. We're starting with the Veteran Benefits Administration because that's probably what you're here for. We're going to skip the needed reforms and just focus on these bullets. Okay, now let me erase that because I don't want that to be confused with anything else. Now, the first one, identify performance targets for benefits, report publicly on actual performance each quarter, and use these metrics to drive consistent improvement. So one, I don't see any strides being made. Now, we do have the DOJ representative looking at efficiency of VA contracts and all that stuff. I don't think that's specific to performance targets for benefits. And so this is not going to be a check mark or an X, but I do think it's a good thing. Okay. I think every single veteran wants a public report on actual performance each quarter, right? Is the VBA doing what they say they're doing, right? So the VBA employees putting in 8 hours, are they actually adjudicating claims properly? And what does that look like? Okay, so I really don't have any comments to this one. Now, I will tell you, the VHA is going to have a lot of green check marks and a lot of red X's probably. So develop a new Pilot Express 30 commitment for veterans' first fully developed disability compensation claim to organize the VBA to complete the first claim in 30 days. One, we haven't seen anything about this, but I don't know if you hate Trump or not. It doesn't matter. I do not see how any veteran ever can say this is a bad idea. Where it's not BDD claims. It's talking about you served in the 90s. You want to submit your very first fully developed claim. You have all your evidence ready to go. This Express 30 thing is a great idea. Objectively, I don't see how anyone could hate against that, although the orange man did it. Okay. Anyways, third one, hire more private companies to perform disability medical examinations. Now, I'll tell you right now, if you know this channel, you know I'm not a fan of CMP exams. It's not. I think that is a hidden thorn in the VBA side. And so this one right here is going to, well, I don't want to do an X because it's not something that, I'm going to do a red circle. So we haven't seen this yet, but looking at how the Trump administration is likely going to privatize the VA with supplemental contracts, this is essentially going to double down on CMP exams. I'm not down for that at all. Bad. This is bad. Don't do it. Please don't do it. We'll have to wait and see. Now, delays in completing the exams could be eliminated with more external capacity. So the thing with this is, the CMP examiners got to be accounted for. If we put accountability over CMP examiners, maybe I can see that being like a yellow for me instead of green. But right now, bad. Okay, increase automation. Hiring additional staff to process claims is costly, isn't flexible, has yielded mixed results. Attempting to change laws basically sucks. The best way to provide benefits faster and more accurately is by using technology to perform most of the work. Maybe like VeteranAI. Excuse me, I'm not going to edit that out. Maybe using a tool like VeteranAI. So right now, VeteranAI does like front-end claims. If you want to submit your claim, get your evidence, you can use VeteranAI to do that. What this is essentially saying is, what if there was a VeteranAI equivalent or VeteranAI itself on the back end of claims? That would be pretty cool, in my opinion. Now, I'm not a AI expert. I'm a little weary on AI making decisions. So this one gets a yellow from me. Okay. That's a solid yellow from me. I think it's a good idea, but there would be some accountability, some decision, human interaction with decisions. I would want to know what that looks like before I go ahead and give it a green, personally. Reduce improper payment and fraud. I think everyone's down for that. About 500 million is improperly paid out each year. Just like the dude I've reported last week from an OIG report who lied about a Purple Heart, is ridiculous. Okay, ridiculous. Yes, this needs to happen. And I put a little dot there. I'm going to erase that. I think that's good. Okay, reduce improper payment and fraud. That's a good thing. That's probably the worst underline you're going to see in your life, but it's there. Okay. Budget VAS. I don't want to do that with green. VAs SRD. So the changes for mental health, tinnitus, sleep apnea, neurological, constrictive bronchitis or bronchitis, or however you say it. That's what the VA SRD is, 38 CFR. Okay. The next administration should explore how VA SRD reviews could be accelerated. So how we keep seeing mental health, tinnitus, and sleep apnea in 2022, the can keeps being kicked down the road. It was just recently kicked again from April of 25 all the way to August of 2025. This essentially is saying, let's make it faster. Now, the reason I'm going to put a red X here, meaning the Trump administration is making strides for this to happen. So it's not a circle of I think this is a good idea. This is a red X showing that this administration is making strides to do this. It's because of this douchebag right here. That's Russell Vought is going to lead the OMB, Office of Management and Budget. And if there is one, so Doug Collins is objectively a good dude. He's going to be a good VA secretary. You can argue if Trump likes veterans or not. I'm personally not going to do that. But looking at objective evidence, Russell Vought, who is this person, OMB, truly believes that veterans should be means tested, and like anyone who's 30% or below should essentially just get cut. That is, in my opinion, the enemy of VBA. is this guy right here. And you're looking at VA SRD changes. It's not changing the big three requirements like in-service event, current diagnosis, and Nexus. It's changing the rating criteria. So for instance, mental health right now is 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, 100. The new rating schedule, in my opinion, seems like if you're rated at 50, it would be a 30 under the new criteria, right? So although being service connected won't be affected, I think we'll see lower ratings in the long run. That's my opinion. That's my thought process. Target significant cost savings from revising disability rating awards. I think that's clear as day here. There's an argument to be made for my conclusion that I came up with. Okay, so this one right here is poopy butt, unicorn, poop, whatever you want to say, derogatory term there. This is bad. This is bad. And it's also underway. Anyways, the VBA's IT top-line budget should be re-examined and reassessed in light need for expanded automation across the enterprise. Again, that's kind of the same flavor as this one up here, looking at increased automation. I don't see anything specific for VBA. Again, it's not green. It's not bad. I want to know more about automation and AI before I'm all in, okay, on the back end of claims. And then same thing here. It's essentially saying the VBA needs more of a budget for IT stuff. Got it. Okay. Personnel pursue. Okay, here we go. Within VBA to build a more blended workforce with more contractors. You already know I'm not a fan of contractors personally for VBA. However, what I am a fan of, and again, it's going to be a circle because there's no strides being made. But we see this federal employees involved solely with the final decision to award benefits. Now, let me just tell you why I made that green. One, if I'm a VBA employee and I'm the one making the decision on the rating for service connection and the criteria, I want that group of people to be my focus for training. I want to be focused for training for that specific audience. Boom. And if I can do that, if I can supplement the contractors to go through the adjudication process and get it to that point so that my VA raters, my top dogs who are awarding benefits, are well-equipped and well-trained, this is a good idea. Okay. Now, the second that's not the case, this is a red for me because of the contractors here. But if the VBA employees who are the decision makers on ratings are well-equipped and well-trained, and they actually, like, the number of duty to assist errors go down on the HLR, okay? That is a good thing. I'm down for that. Now, improve the VBA acquisition workforce. VBA needs more world-class contractor support. Again, I'm not a big contractor fan at all. That is going to give me a red one there. I'm going to speed up here so we can get to VHA to identify more and effective ways to complete claims. This is about AI stuff, okay? More and effective ways to complete claims, knowledge exchange center, private sector, VBA. I don't know. I do not know about that. Risk adverse. This insularity has led to predominantly build it ourselves. And so they're essentially saying, hey, people already have this technology that you can use. Maybe you reach out to them, like VeteranAI. Who would have thought? Okay. And then this is human resources. So now what I want to do is go back up to VHA. So again, this was VBA, right? I talked about the circles are good ideas, bad ideas, so-so. Red X is the current administration is making strides for this. I'm going to give that a thumbs down. We're going to do that same thing for the VHA now. Where's VHA at? Did I skip it? Nope, it's right here. Bam, there's VHA. VHA. So now we're talking about Veterans Healthcare Administration. Okay, I have not read this one yet. We'll have to do this on the fly. Rescind all departmental clinical policy directives that are contrary to principles of conservative governance, starting with abortion services and gender reassignment surgery. This is the thing. I'm going to explain this as best as I can. I'm wearing a Psalm 23 shirt. It's clear what my morals and beliefs are, okay? Do I think my personal moral and beliefs should be reflected in the federal government? It would be nice, but you're looking at governance, the separation of church and state. I don't want to go too deep into it. The reason I bring that up is because I can have my own personal views and disagree with this personally and look at it from a government perspective as well. I think those are two different things. What do I think? I don't think it's good or bad. I think this is a problem that can't be fixed. You're set in stone, either for or against. There's no one on the fence. You're either for or against. I'd be curious as to the resources that are used. Like, is it taking away from other things? What does that look like? And just kind of go with that, right? I don't think it's a veteran-specific issue. I think it is a political issue, right? So once it's not veteran-specific, it's just kind of irrelevant for this right here. Now, if you want to look at what the VA's answer is, Doug Collins does give an answer on this exact thing. That's why the lady from Hawaii said no on his confirmation. He essentially says the VA will follow the law, and the law is no. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what he said. Okay. Focus on the effects of shifting veteran demographics. Okay. At least during the next decade, the VA will experience a significant generational shift in its overall patient population. Out of 18 million veterans alive, about half are enrolled in VA healthcare. These 6.4 are evenly split between those who are 65. So essentially what this says is veterans are old. The ones who are enrolled in VA healthcare are old, like Vietnam era, peacetime era type old. And when I say peacetime, I mean pre-Desert Shield, Desert Storm. But the share of VA's healthcare dollars is spent predominantly in the old people demographic. Again, don't shoot the messenger. That share increases significantly as veterans live longer and use the VHA at a higher rate. So this, are they saying that the Vietnam era and peacetime era don't deserve that much? Like, they get healthcare, but not that much healthcare. I think that's what this is saying. That's what I'm going to base my decision off of, at least. If you have any input to that, please let me know. But this gets I don't see any strides for this May, so it's not going to be a red X. But it's definitely red for me, right? Like, just because of when you served and how old you are, you don't deserve that much VA healthcare. I'm not sure. I don't know what this is getting at. I can tell you right now, it's not good. Okay, VHA enrollments of new users, significantly higher risk, post 9/11. I feel biased if I put a green on post 9/11 because that's me, okay? At the center of VHA's evolution, community care networks, okay. Community care, that's actually going to be green. I know this is probably the most controversial thing of this video. I think making strides for community care, veteran-centric, is good. Okay? I know people are going to disagree with that. That's fine. Community care, and trust me, this is going, if there's anything from Project 2025 that's going to happen, it's going to be doubling down on community care. We see it right now with Complete the Mission Act. Doug Collins is a huge community care fan. Paul Lawrence, the undersecretary, is a huge community care fan. And Trump did the updated version of the Mission Act. We'll just call it that, okay? And now we have Complete the Mission Act that actually started December 24, I believe. That's going to happen. I'm a big fan of it. Community care, in a nutshell, is, hey, it takes 2 months to get this appointment from the VA. You can go to a private supplemental healthcare package or healthcare provider and go get your appointment in 2 weeks, right? And so it's timely healthcare to veterans. That's essentially what community care is. Now, is there a room for government contracts to take advantage of that? and we're paying $800,000 for napkins and Q-tips, sure. But given that's not the case, if it is, erase it. But given it's not the case, I think community care is overall a good thing. And if you're wondering if it's new, no, it's not. The Biden administration loved preaching about the numbers of veterans using community care because the VA is providing more care than ever before, or more care to more veterans than ever before. Community care was a very large part of that. It also costs money, which comes with the conversation of, do we cut VHA and VHA staff and VHA facilities for community care? We can't sustain both. What does that look like? Anyways, more to follow on that. This is going to happen for sure. It's going to be number one. Not sure if you can see that. That was a number one. Let me do that again because that was really bad. Number one thing the Trump admin is focused on is community care, in my opinion. Okay. To strengthen community care, again, I'm not going to go, there's a VA Mission Act, okay? I'm not going to go over all of that, yada, yada, yada. Okay, here's a new one. Require VHA to report publicly on all aspects of its operation. This, I don't see any strides being made for that. There's an argument there for Doug Collins. He just got in the office. I think that's good. And I think every veteran would agree that VHA to report publicly on its operation, including quality, safety, and patient experience, timeliness, cost effectiveness, all those things are good. Okay. Encourage VA medical centers to seek out relevant academic and private sector input into the communities. I mean, that should already be happening. But I think that's good. Budget. Conduct an independent audit of the VA similar to 2018. This is happening. I'm going to go yellow on this one. Okay. I'll tell you why. So this is happening. Bam. It's going to be a check mark and an X. There we go. Because it's yellow, right? That is happening. The reason I put it in yellow is because we have the Doge representative looking at the VA for contracts and all that stuff. They're looking at VA operations, which is on this. Let me make my screen big here. VA operations over here. So contracts, how the VA operates, all that efficiency, all that's over here. If you don't think the VA wastes money, you're drinking Kool-Aid for sure. Okay, that's over here. If this right here, if that crosses the line into individual benefits for veterans, like disability payments, education payments, if that crosses the line, 100%, that's going to be a big no, big red flag. That is when, like, you'll probably see veterans want to march on DC. I'm not advocating for that, for the record. So as long as it looks at IT, management, financial contracting, and other deficiencies, that's fine. Once it crosses that line I talked about into veterans, it's going to be a no for me. Okay. So this one, like, technically it would be, green, green, green. And then this right here, assuming that this is veterans, bad. I don't think it is, but, give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Anyways, assess the misalignment of VHA facilities and rising infrastructure costs. That really looks at the veteran access in rural communities, looking at community care, paying for buildings, utilities for that building, pensions, benefits for VHA employees that really are not in the best areas when a veteran can just use community care, right? I think that is, I don't know. I don't know if a reduction of VHA for more community care is a good thing or not. I do think community care is good. I'm not sure on the reduction of VHA because, do you get rid of primary care? Do you get rid of specialty care? What does that look like specifically? And before I know that, I can't make any other decision than to say, maybe. Okay. All right, personnel, extend the term of the Undersecretary of Health, whatever. I have no comments on that one. That's just going to be gray, right? Now, listen, SESs, senior executives, I don't care about. I don't care. GS13 and below, thumbs up in my book. Establish a SES. Okay, we're just talking about like things I really don't care right now. Identify a workflow process for the Mission Act community care stuff. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Oh, we have one more bullet point. Conduct a high priority assessment of EHR, transition delays, and functionality properly. I can tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of EHR. VA innovation in healthcare for the next 20 years and beyond will rest squarely on the timely implementation. This is a big one here. Timely implementation of the VHA EHR. So this was written, 2018-ish? It was a few years ago. This already failed. The EHR failed, and we're just pumping money into it. So this one is black. I don't know what the administration is going to do for EHR. I know it's on the secretary's priorities. I'm going to give it a black check mark, neither green or yellow or red. I don't know enough about EHR stuff to do that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. So there we go. Everyone has a shared understanding of at least my thoughts on VHA, VBA stuff. You can look at, hey, here's what the administration is actually making strides for. And then in the future, of course, I can always update this. Now, it is Sunday. I like to give a veteran bit business a shout out. And this veteran is Brad Tatchy. I don't know if I said that right. I apologize. This is his LinkedIn account. I'm going to pin this below in the comments. But he does military resumes, right? He's a subject matter expert in military resumes. He uses AI programs for this. Here it is, bestmilitaryresume.com. I'm going to go to that website here. I'm going to link this down below in the comments as well. And so you can have all of this stuff that you need. And the link for that website is right here, by the way. But it's essentially builds your resume. So if you're transitioning from military to the civilian workforce, especially if you're going like contracting or the federal employee route like I did both of those, you're going to need an outstanding resume for that. But yeah, you can absolutely use Dan, the AI resume builder. You can hit up Brad. He does lots of work, right? There's all types of people who have used him before. There's various steps. You can sign up. You can do all that stuff. And the cool thing is about contracts is about resume, once you have one built, it's easier to update it, especially if you stay within, that certain field that you're working in. Anyways, bestmilitaryresume.com. That is this week's veteran-owned business shout out. If you made it to the end, which this is a longer video for me, if you made it to the end, let me know, okay? I definitely want your thoughts on Project 2025, not P25 specifically, but like what we see implemented from the recommendations of P25, okay? If you want to get political in the comments, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you what not to do. Keep in mind, YouTube has its own moderation. I don't delete comments unless they talk about my family personally. But if you made it to the end, I want to know you made it to the end and say something like, let's say, because the logo here is like this, I think it's a fox. Actually, you know what? It's Super Bowl Sunday. If you watch this today, let me know if you want the Chiefs to win or the Eagles to win, or you don't care. If you watch this later in the future, okay, and you made it to the end, I want you to say, go Fox, or something about, give me a Fox pun. Try not to use the F-bomb. All right, that's all I got. Thank you very much. That was a long one.